When life gives you lemons, what do? Make lemonade? Well, I've never been a fan of just regular lemonade. I've always liked a little strawberry lemonade. So I know a lot of people out there, their plans are not always, they've been given those lemons and they're happy with the lemonade they've made. So our life's plan needs to have a structure where we can make it the way we want to make it. Our goals, our aspirations, our plan. So I'm here to guide you of how to make those plans, your life plan, to your liking, for you to succeed, for you to gain that happiness, for you to be able to be passionate. So we're going to cover initiating. How are we going to start this? Is there a really need for me to start this new project in my life? Do I start that new job? Do I start that new relationship? Is it going to help me get to those points where I want to be in life? Planning, when we plan together as a family, are we on the same page of what we want to accomplish as a team, as a goal? And once we get that planned out, are we going to execute it together? Are we making sure that it's following everything that we planned for it to be? Once we've got that plan moving and we're executing, we're going to monitor it. We're looking at, we're controlling it. We're making sure that it's doing what it said it's going to do. And finally, with all plans, they have to be closed. So we're going to close that plan. So there's 5 steps that we must follow when we're following life's plan. First being initiating. We've got to initiate that first step, just like a New Year's resolution. Is there a need for us to do it? Is there an opportunity for us to do it? And once we identify that, we make sure that we follow through on that initiating, making sure we gather all those requirements. Just like a new marriage. If your requirement is you're looking to build a family and children, a great career, and a stable home, then that initiated, those requirements must be met and gathered from each parties. Once those requirements are met, then we need to move on to our planning phase of our life's plan. And while we're planning, we're making sure that we're identifying the risk, the time, the cost, the spiritual influence. We have to put all those pieces into our plan, our master life's plan. And once we've got our plan together, we've got our baselines. Our baselines are going to be our measurements in which we measure our performance on. Making sure that we're doing and we're accountable for what we're saying we're going to do in our life's plan. So after we're finished with planning, we're going to move to that executing. And our executing is the actual work. We're doing the work that we said we're going to do in our planning phase. So if I'm a new father, I'm going to be there for my son. I'm going to make sure that I'm doing all the duties and the requirements that my roles that I've assigned, that I've said that I was going to do. Once we're executing, once we're making sure that we're doing exactly what we said we were going to do in our baselines, then we're going to move on to the monitor and controlling. As we're monitoring ourselves and monitoring our environment, we're making sure that everything is working according to our plan. We're making sure that we're overseeing if anything is deviating from what we said we're going to be doing. So our work is being executed. And with every plan, we have to close it. If there's a death in the family that we're not prepared for, how do we close that part of our lives? Do we just go on just wandering in life? Or has that spouse and that husband talked about what that plan would be? Do we have that legacy piece in place where we leave on the next plan, the next pieces for our children? So there's several steps. We got 5 steps that we need to make sure we've got in place to make sure our life's plans work. So we've got to initiate, we've got to identify the opportunity and the need. And we have to assess it and see if if it's feasible. Then we're going to move on to our planning. Because lack of planning leads lack of preparation. And lack of preparation is lack of performance. So once we're done with our planning, we move on to our executing. We've got to do the work. We've got to say we're going to do what we plan to do. And that's really hard for a lot of people because we say we're going to do something, but we don't execute it. So once we're doing executing, step back. Allow your work to do itself because you put in place your plan, you put in place your pieces, your baseline, your measurements. And monitor and control it. Allow it to work itself. Last but not least is our closure, our completion. We've got to close our life's plan. For more information, visit www.csharrison.com for more material.